Hello, it's another week and it's another midweek message. This week we are continuing and looking at creation. And I want to look at Genesis. And it says in verse 20, "And God said, let the water teem with living creatures and let birds fly above across the vault of the sky." So God created the creatures of the sea and every living thing which the water teems that moves about in it, according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and increase in the number, fill the water in the seas, and let the birds increase on earth." And there was evening and there was morning on the fifth day. Birds are incredible creatures. The way that they're built, their wings, their everything and how they operate, they are amazing. They lay eggs, they hatch, they nest. All the intricacies of birds. Then you look at the water and the oceans, and that, only a couple verses about the oceans, you could just wash over that and just move through it so quickly. But the fact is, even with the oceans, so the skies and all the creatures that fill them up as birds, and in the water and the depth and the vastness, there's so many things that point to creation. The water is fascinating. If you've ever had a chance to look at an aquarium, at a large aquarium where there's big creatures in it and just all the different ecosystems, or maybe you've been snorkeling at all and you get to peek into the depths. What goes on below the surface in water is fascinating. The ecosystems that are there are mind-blowing. And when you go to saltwater versus freshwater, and how there's different types of fish and how that they are able to breathe under the water and process the water to create oxygen for their bodies. When you even get into the salmon, right, and that they go upstream back to the place of their birth every year for mating purposes. There's so many things that keep pointing back to a creator. So many times and time again, we see that God has done stuff to remind us on a daily basis when we step out into nature that He is present, that He has left His mark in creation, just like He's left His mark with you. Now, when I think about birds, and I think about fish, and I think about the waters and the depths and the oceans, I'm also thinking about my humanness, how I can't exist in the water and I just don't naturally fly. And how man has created spaces to go down into the depths of the water or to get up high and fly. Because man is constantly looking to create and to expand in its spaces. Humans by nature are never satisfied with what they just have. There's a constant yearning for more. It's how we're, I think, wired due to original sin. I think we also have a curiosity built into us that's God's image to create. So I think when you put these pieces together and you start flowing with it, I think that we can start to glean some of this into our own lives. Do you spend time creating? Do you spend time losing yourself in the clouds? Have you ever gone exploring in the water, lifting over the rocks and so forth? There's so many ways to just engage the world around us, to indulge in the vastness of what God has created. So take time to watch some birds this week. Take some time to go by a lake or a pond and look at the water and see what's happening. I think in the end, when it's all said and done and we look at this earth, and we look at the water, and we look at what's going on in there, and we look at the sky and the beauty of the birds, and just how birds work and the migration patterns, and as I mentioned with fish, and so there's just so much. There's so much. I could keep going and going and going and going about this vastness. But I think what's important is you need to experience the vastness. You need to take time to get outside and experience these beautiful things. Listen, sit and listen for the birds that are chirping. Sit and watch the surface of a lake and look for the fish to jump. So many ways you can just pause and slow down and look for God in your day. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I hope that you feel blessed by this. Feel free to tell your friends, add a like, make a comment, share it out. But we're going to be wrapping up soon in Genesis, a couple more weeks, and then we'll be on to some more. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and God bless.